Welcome to the Smashi Business Show. I'm Warid Ahmed.
And I'm Abdul Majid.
And today it's February 14th. It's a Friday and it's Valentine's. It's Valentine's holiday. But just for the topics for today, firstly, we're going to further tell you about the appearance that Elon Musk has made at the World Government Summit in Dubai. And of course, knowing Musk and knowing his crazy ideas, he had to come in with a crazy idea. And he basically announced the Dubai Loop. And it's going to be similar to Las Vegas Loop. It's basically a road project. And secondly, we're going to tell you about how the Saudi-US trade partnership is in doubt and it might not actually occur. And finally, Americana's profits have dropped 38.8%. But with that being said, how are you, Majid? It's Friday.
Yeah.
I know Majid, and let me tell you guys, this man here, there is nothing he loves more than his weekend. And he starts talking about it from Monday.
Yeah.
From Monday, he starts
5 days
mentioning
away,
it.
4 days away, 3 days away.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, weekend is coming, but yeah, we still have work. There's a lot happening in the region. As we've always talked about, February has so many events that you can't
it's
rest.
Crazy. No, really, you can't. No,
Yeah,
but
maybe we'll rest in Ramadan.
I'm excited. Ramadan is coming up. We actually have an industry event going on right now at Augustus Media, all about Ramadan and driving impact in Ramadan.
And you can watch it live. It's still happening.
Yeah.
It's on Love in Dubai YouTube channel, Augustus Media YouTube channel. So it's live. You can see whatever is happening in the panels and everything.
I was just telling everyone in the panel, last year, guys, the job that I have today, me sitting down with you guys, sitting down with Majid, it's all literally because of Ramadan. I used to go to Taraweeh with my grandmother, Majid, every once in a while, especially during Laylatul Qadr, when they tell you a da'wah mustajaba. Bro, I was with my granny. Me and her, we take that long walk to the masjid. And by the way, Taraweeh is long.
Yeah.
It is so long. And I remember I even had to go home and ask my family, I'm like, guys, how do I focus? How do I stop my thoughts from going to people and going to events and going to everything happening? But Majid, you know what I'm actually thinking about? Just this morning, I was listening to Fayrouz, the amazing Lebanese singer. And she has this song, it's called Kifak Inta. And do you know... what's it called? Do you know what she said in that song? It was so interesting. She went شو بدي بالبلاد الله يخلي الأولاد. Basically what she's saying, Majid, is I don't care about countries. God, leave us our children. Leave us the people, leave us the kids. And it was so beautiful to see because she's so right. And that's literally what Smashi Business is all about. It's not about the nations. It's not about the politics. It's about the people. It's about the people who are leading the future. And Elon Musk specifically, he's trying to lead a future in this country, in the UAE. So basically, he showed up to the World Government Summit. As always, on a Zoom, on a video call, I would honestly kill for the day he makes an appearance. And Majid, I predicted the day that I go to World Government Summit, I'm going to meet Elon Musk there. No, he's going to be there. He will come. I don't care. He will come. He will come because look at what the Middle East is becoming. Yeah. Are you kidding me? It's not only going to be shameful for him to not show up, but excuse me, doesn't he want the money here too? Yeah. Of course he's going to show up.
Already has a lot of money from the Middle Eastern region. He has Kingdom Holding investing in XAI. Yesterday we did the video where Sensor Jani was saying that he has invested in SpaceX, XAI, a lot of Elon Musk endeavors. We didn't know that before. We only thought that Kingdom Holding because Prince Al-Walid bin Talal, he's been very open about that I have invested here, I have invested here, I have invested in Elon Musk, XAI. But Hussein Sajwani telling us that they have also invested, they have private equity in those companies. That was interesting. But yeah, he came through a remote connection online. His Excellency, the Minister of AI, the first ever Minister of AI in the world, and that was announced by the UAE, Mr. Al-Ulama. He interviewed him. Interesting things, a lot of interesting things for me. We talked about the announcements yesterday as well, but we mainly talked about where he said America should get out of other people's
America
business.
should mind their own business.
Yeah,
but more interestingly than that, he basically announced a partnership with Dubai to explore the Dubai Loop.
Yeah.
So basically, it's going to be like an underground road network, and it's going to be similar to the Las Vegas Loop.
Yeah.
And basically, what the entire project is for, it's to reduce the congestion that is happening in the UAE, that is happening in Dubai specifically. I know that you all feel the pain. I feel the pain, man. Like somewhere that's meant to be 30 minutes away turns into 1 hour away, and it's just it's a tough one there. So I like how it's interesting how Elon Musk specifically is
did you listen
stepping
to
into
the talk,
that one.
like some part of it?
The talk?
The interesting
I didn't listen to all
thing.
of it. What about you, Majid? I'm sure you did.
I listened
course
to
you
all
did.
of it. But the main thing was Musk, the idea of this Dubai Loop. It originated obviously from Dubai, and then they found the Boring Company. Boring Company is Elon Musk's company, which is into infrastructure. A lot of people don't know about it. He did a video with one of the reporters where they've actually built a loop in San Francisco or Las Vegas, if I'm not wrong. And he took that lady through the whole thing. And at that point, when I saw the video like 6-7 months ago, I was like, no, doesn't sound good because you have to build so many tunnels and everything will go underground. Then there's drainage problems, operational problems. If anything happens, an ambulance cannot come here.
It's Musk's problem.
Yeah.
We can all blame him if it goes wrong.
Yeah, but if you go and you just Google the video of the loop that he's trying to create, he has a very good idea. He explained the science behind it yesterday, and I was like, okay, this makes really, this actually makes sense. He's like, what is the safest place when there is an earthquake? And I was like, in my mind, everyone, under the table. So he was like, yeah, it's under the table, but it's underground because the earthquakes and all these natural events,
But
their
earthquakes
surface.
won't hit here.
No, I'm just talking about
Oh,
how
okay.
his thought processes behind the loop idea. Not only Dubai Loop, the
Yeah.
other loops that he's building and they're working on. His idea is that all the natural calamities, fires, the tsunamis and everything, they're all surface level events. So he's like, as soon as something hits, for example, heat wave in UAE, let's go towards our natural disaster and the rains last
But let me
April
tell
as
you,
well.
we're blessed though. Our air-conditioned
Yeah.
malls and buses. You know, a few years ago, Majid, I remember spending time in Paris in the summer with my family. Oh my Lord. Majid, the buses had no AC. You know, I saw people jumping into fountains just so they can get like just a break from the heat. So I think in itself, the UAE was already in a great position. I think Elon coming in, by the way, I don't think it adds to the benefit. I just think it's Elon trying to place himself in the story of a great nation that's being built, and it's only going to be better. And the great it's already a great nation, and I think that he wants to be a part of this story. And that's Elon, by the way. He always wants to be a part of history. He's mad at Sam Altman because Sam Altman, after he left in 2015, he managed to build something great like ChatGPT. And we know Musk now. He feels FOMO. He's like, damn, like Altman did that with ChatGPT and I left.
And he
I
also
need to get
talked
a piece
about
of
that in his talk.
And now we're seeing, no way. What did he say?
Yeah, he was asked about the whole controversy that's going around that you offered
Yeah.
97.8 billion, and why are you after like Sam Altman and ChatGPT and OpenAI as a whole? And he said it's very simple. When I started it with Sam Altman, my idea was open source and non-profit. So it'll be for the betterment of people, one, and open source so every developer can get the source code and develop something of their own. He's like, they started with that. ChatGPT obviously started with that. And even right now, if you're a programmer, very basic programmer even, you can create your own ChatGPT version. They're called GPTs. So you can create Writer GPT, Search GPT. You can create a GPT out of ChatGPT's functionality. But his problem with OpenAI is, what he said, is that they are going for a for-profit structure. They're removing the non-profit part. And secondly, they want to make a lot of money out of it, and they're making it closed source. So he said that the ideology that I started with Sam Altman, free for everyone and free to code, he's removing all of that. He just wants to make money out of it. That is why I have a problem with it. And he also said that that is why I created XAI, because I thought that this guy is not doing the job that I invested. He said he invested $50 million. The initial money came from Elon Musk, $50 million. So he's like
He invested $50
million
million
dollars
into
into
OpenAI.
OpenAI.
Wow, and then you
So
have DeepSeek, Chinese
6
DeepSeek, and
million.
they only use $6 million to,
No, but to be
create
honest,
it.
to be fair with OpenAI, like 2015 he left. They started way like 2-3 years
Yeah.
ago. At that point, computing power was not that great, so you would need more infrastructure, more machines to buy. Now the chips are getting better, so
Yeah.
technology advancing
Yeah.
means that the
No,
cost
that's
reduces.
a really
Even
good
if you
point,
ask
Majid.
Kirby, our production head, and Ujjwal, these guys know all the machines that we have behind the scenes that help
Yeah.
us go live and everything. These machines, like 10 years ago, if you wanted to build this machine, it would cost you a fortune.
Not even just 10 years ago, like 1 year ago, 2 years ago.
No, no, not.
Technology is changing
Yeah.
so much every single year. And when I say 1 year ago, 2 years ago, Majid, I mean like it could be literally the slightest update
Yeah.
that will upgrade absolutely everything for you. But
But
anyways,
recently, I guess Ujjwal can tell us clearly, he built a machine for us for the production room, and it costed him around 17,000 dirhams. In my time, like at least 20 years ago, oh, 10,000 dirhams, right? He's saying 10,000 dirhams. His point is, so 10,000 dirhams, like 10 years ago, won't even get me a good power source for my PC, right? Right, Ujjwal? Not even a power core, because with heavier machines, you need cooling, you need everything. So it would cost 20, it would be double. So technology, yeah, advancing has made things easier for DeepSeek as well. DeepSeek, obviously, Sam Altman thinks that they stole their data and trained DeepSeek over it. So I think let's see if DeepSeek can match what OpenAI is trying to do. Yeah.
let's see. And anyways, for our next topic for today, we're going to tell you about Saudi Arabia and the U.S.'s trade agreement. Basically, Saudi Arabia agreed to commit and invest with the U.S. up to $6 billion over President Donald Trump's 4-year term. But the interesting part of the story here is that former IMF official Tim Callan actually said that this target is very optimistic and unlikely to be achieved. And Majid explained it in a really good way. Can you explain it to them, Majid?
It's very simple. He said if you divide 600 by 4
Yeah.
years, it's $150 billion per year, and there is not enough trade that is already happening with the US. So they'll have to like go above and beyond to reach 150 billion per year. That's the first problem. Secondly, he pointed out a number, 92 billion, which was the number of trade that they did in the last 2 or 3 years. So he said if you're already doing 92 billion over 2-3 years period, or over the last term of Biden, that means you will have to be like astronomically increasing the investment. So that's the problem that he finds out. He was interviewed by EGBI. We do source a lot of stories from EGBI. They do good. So you should always say good things about your competition if they're doing good. But this is one of the interviews that they did. And what I see is that they're very right. Tim Callan is also very right that it's impossible to achieve those numbers. And this, keep in mind, this is not only oil trade. Oil trade by US recently, like 3 or 4 years ago, this covered so much oil that now they're one of the biggest producers and distributors of oil throughout the world. So even if Saudi wants to sell their oil to the US, they can't, because US already has their own oil now. So they will have to do non-oil goods. And non-oil goods, I don't think Saudi produces enough to sell to US. And
but
plus
not-
with Trump doing tariff things,
Yeah, but
it's
not
very
just
difficult.
that. I think, not just from Trump's side, but also from Saudi Arabia's side. Just very recently, they announced how they want to reduce their international
Yeah.
investments and actually invest more into the country.
Yeah.
And the way that we're seeing that is we're seeing it through the beautiful NEOM project, the 1.5 trillion mega city techno project. I would
Yeah.
call it techno, honestly. Just very recently, they invested $5 billion to build an AI data center in that NEOM project. So I think, to be honest with you, the direction that Saudi Arabia is going in it's so beautiful. And honestly, Majid, I feel really bad for the people who don't speak Arabic at this time. Because you know why? Saudi Arabia is becoming the most powerful nation in the world.
Yeah.
They are becoming the most powerful nation in the world. And they truly do have a lot of money. And we saw it with how when Trump became president, he was like, okay, King Salman, if you want me to make the first foreign visit to Saudi Arabia again, you know, you have to give me $450 billion. So King Salman hops on a call with him and he's like, no, I'll give you $650 billion. But, you know, knowing the kind of, you know, businessman that Trump is, he's always going to ask for more. He's going to top it. And he asked for $1 trillion at the Davos, Switzerland conference. Yeah. So, you know what this kind of reminds me of? Al-Walid bin Talal, you know, he went on this, Prince Al-Walid bin Talal from Saudi Arabia, the, you know, founder of Kingdom Holding Company, which owns the NBC. He has a very, like, he has a crazy empire. You know, he was saying, he was like, there is this marriage, يعني في زواج بين ترامب Elon Musk. Yeah. But I think, you know, the way that I think about it, Majid, is that, you know, perhaps there's a marriage between Musk and Donald Trump, as Al-Walid bin Talal said. But if you think about it, there's almost this aila, there is this family between Trump and the Middle East. Seriously, he's like, it's like if you have one sibling and each one of them is like in a different country. The relationships that Trump has with the Middle East and the reasons why he's making them, it's because of the fact that Saudi, it's becoming so powerful. And by the way, I'm deeping it every single day. And this is something that I discovered, like 70% of Saudis only speak Arabic. And it's like, if you want to break through with these people, you need to know Arabic. So it's going to be really interesting to see, Majid, the shift that's going to happen in the next decade. Because what happened? Everyone wanted to go to Europe, right? And, you know, everyone wanted to go to America. Yeah. So what did everyone do? We all learned English.
Give IELTS, give TOEFL, all
exactly.
these
And we all learned English. I mean, look at my accent. Look at the way that I sound. But I feel like it's going to be so interesting to see. And this, for me, will be such a, like a truly monumental moment, is when I start seeing people, like white men, white people, learning Arabic just so they can get ahead in the Middle East, just so they can get into Saudi Arabia. But
and
anyways,
the good part is, to be honest, when you talk about Middle East, the good thing is that there is still countries apart from Saudi and UAE which have an Arab-speaking population, and they can always come to Saudi Arabia. So for me, this is the highlight, that all the people from Egypt, Lebanon, Syria, they know Arabic. So now they will have an advantage over Europeans.
Yeah, exactly.
Because they only know English.
And that's what I'm told by everyone all the time, by the way.
I remember Sir Martin Sorrell, he's a British media mogul. He's a giant. He owns the biggest advertising, marketing, PR company in the world. Yeah. And their subsidiary also just opened like last year, their office in ADGM. Completely forgot the name. It'll come back to me. But Sir Martin Sorrell was at an event in Saudi, and I put that in the newsletter as well. He has a very interesting code. He said, learn Chinese, learn Arabic, and learn Spanish. And just go with the flow. You'll make money in the next 5 years. So he also, so it's just the idea of these three languages. Spanish, I don't know why he said Spanish. I don't have zero idea.
Some people say that.
He just added it, I guess.
You know, there are some people that say that if you know Arabic, it's going to be really easy for you to learn Spanish. And they say that certain words, like they have Arabic in them. But you know, like Majid, like more so than that, I think what's going to be really beautiful to see is the Arabization that's going to occur of everyone trying to accommodate for us. Instead of us, the Arabs, constantly, you know, accommodating for the white world, constantly accommodating for them. But anyways, for our last topic of the day, so Americana, which is chaired by one of my favorite, you know, real estate billionaires in the UAE, Mohammed Al-Abbar, has reported $2.2 billion in revenue in 2024. And, you know, they're eyeing more. However, there was a 9% decline from 2023. And I think what we can attribute that to is obviously the boycotts, you know. The boycotts haven't really been great. But you know what's really interesting? We discussed this story before. How, in fact, although there are like heavy boycotts on McDonald's, McDonald's is doing better in the Middle East than it's doing in other branches. And it's just that, to me, by the way, you know, just putting the boycotts aside for 1 second, you know, they are very important. It's for me, what I hear in this story is not McDonald's. What I'm hearing is that the Middle East is doing well.
And yes, the buying power, that's the main thing. Whenever you see a consumer product or a product at the core of it, which can be used every day or like at least every week, you need to see people who have the buying power. And those are the target audiences. These people have the buying power, like Middle Eastern people. You and I, a normal person can even have McDonald's. It's not that expensive. And also McDonald's, very smartly, they came up with value meals. So their numbers were very down. They saw like I remember, if I remember correctly, the last 2 quarters of last year, Q3 and Q4, the combined loss was 1.5% across the globe, including
Yeah.
Middle East, US, everything. But the interesting part was that they came up with value meals, $5 deals, $10 deals. So the same thing that you bought for $20, $25, they brought it down to $10. So that means they cut their profit, but they wanted to do more sales. Again, boycotts affected them. It's very true. A lot of Muslim countries, Malaysia, Indonesia, you can name them like 4 or 5 of them.
And by the way,
They have completely boycotted it.
the effect is there.
Yeah.
You know why? Like, for example, I used to go to McDonald's so much. Even though, like, I do go to McDonald's now, Majid, not as frequently as I used to. Because of the fact there was a time where I just completely boycotted. I kind of got into the habit of does not come up as an option. It just comes up as a desperate option of if it's the only thing right in front of me. Because McDonald's, I'm sorry, like every single gas station, even if you're, by the way, even if you're like in Al Qudra, the desert is there.
There's a McDonald's.
Guess what? You see that yellow logo staring right back at you, inviting you to come eat.
No, what I saw was, I don't know where I read it. It just popped up in my mind when you talked about not choosing it as an option. I read somewhere that people started boycotting them by going to food courts so they can have more options. So they tried avoiding the single branches that we see of McDonald's on different roads.
Yeah.
They tried going to food courts, and then obviously they had multiple options. So they were like, okay, not McDonald's, but we have 6 other options. So that's good. That's the good part about people also changing their habits. So staying away from not consuming the boycotted products. But yeah, Americana, the good thing is they recently also went to Oman. Remember we talked about it. They bought the whole Pizza Hut chain from Oman. There was a company in Oman which had the rights. So now in Oman, Pizza Hut is under Americana restaurants, again under Al-Abbar. And I think that also puts a lot of pressure on their earnings because they spent money on the overtake. So, but they're on the road to recovery. So
they definitely are. But I think Americana, it's unlucky in the sense of they own KFC, Pizza Hut, Hardee's, Krispy Kreme,
a lot of them.
Fridays, Costa, Wimpy. Baskin Robbins. I think, over here when I'm taking a look at this list, I don't think KFC is affected. Are you kidding me? Everyone loves KFC. They're obsessed.
Yeah.
But I think the ones that probably caused that revenue drop, I would assume, are like Pete's Coffee, Fridays. Are you noticing, Majid? Every single time you see a Fridays shop, bro, it's not filled anymore.
Yeah.
People don't go to Fridays that much anymore.
it's expensive. Well, that's what I have realized.
And the food
with
is not that
Fridays.
good, by the way.
Yeah, it's average
just-
food. It's
all
not
right.
like great. They have a good menu. I've
Yeah.
been there twice, I guess, twice or thrice. The problem is TGI Fridays has a very short menu. They're very specialty menu, but everything is so expensive.
You know what it is?
McDonald's, you have so many choices.
It's this
no?
point of Americanization.
Yeah.
If you go to McDonald's, you'll notice how they've done, they've
localized the
slightly-
product.
They've adjusted the menu
Yeah.
so that, it can attract more people. And the reason why I specifically mention Arabization is because last night, Majid, the meeting that I went for, it was at this place. It was like a golf club. All right? And I walk in, and let me tell you, I've been living in this country my entire life. I have never seen that many white people in one location. I was so shocked. I was like, what's going on here? Like, is this like your hangout spot? And it was like 6 p.m. I was like, you guys are telling me that you all left work and you came to this spot? And I see them all eating and enjoying the food, by the way. And so I open the menu, and I'm like, okay, this food must taste good. I ordered a Caesar salad. A safe bet, because my friend was telling me that their food was not that good. Majid, you know what they did? They fried the croutons in what they used to fry the fish.
Oh, so it smelled.
Not smelled. It tasted like fish.
Oh.
And I was looking around all these people and like, you guys are really eating this food right now. And by the way, their entire menu, you know what they could have done to localize it, to Arabize it? Could have added hummus. You could have added tabbouleh.
There's so many options, right?
No, but Majid, it was all like American English food. None of it was, and by the way, like for example, I remember when I went to the Ovaltine, basically it's like this new concept shop opened by Al Safadi. It was recently opened. If you open their menu, yes, mainly they're serving menaish, they're serving msakhan, fatayir. However, if you go to the wraps, although they're like oven baking the wraps, by the way, like the same way you bake a menaish, there's a Philly cheesesteak there. Do you see what I mean? And I think that's what's so beautiful about the Arab world. Although there has not always been a space created for us, we have always created a space for other people. And I think that's the welcoming culture that we all represent and that we all have, that's so beautiful. And Majid, I'm so glad that you finally get to live here and that you get to experience it. And by the way, like I
don't like Arabic food. I won't lie about it.
What? Are you being
don't
serious?
like Arabic food. It's too bland for me. I come from a region where spice is more important than the food. We don't mind if it's chicken, vegetables, lentils, whatever it is. For us, spice is the most important part for any dish. So here, the spices are,
by the way,
according to my palate, they're bland, but it's tasty food. Mixed grills, great. I love them.
The fact that you're saying this, it's so interesting because I remember I went to this restaurant. It was in Wasl 51. I'm not sure if they moved their branch. It was called Lana Lusa. And Lana Lusa was Portuguese. And something that they do with their food is that, like, for example, if they give you shrimp, they literally just drizzle it in olive oil and they put a bit of it. The fact their food is good and people say their food is good, but because of the fact that they don't have to add that much seasoning for it to taste good. So it's just so interesting to see the different perspectives. But I was telling Majid this, I went to Gazebo, and oh my God, their butter chicken, their, what's it called, their meat mutton.
It tasted sweet to me. It was good for you, but it tasted sweet to me. So imagine
that's
the level of
crazy.
Spice that we guys are used to.
I think it's like the difference between people because I once had butter chicken and it was from this Malayali place, and
it would
I remember,
be different than Gazebo, right?
Yeah. Their butter chicken was too sweet to the point I couldn't even eat it. I didn't want to eat it, but I always tell Majid this. My favorite paratha is from Karachi Darbar. So good, and Karachi Darbar is actually a Pakistani spot, and I'm sorry, but I think you guys make it the best, Majid. Like I give you that award. But thank you so much, guys. This was a lovely Friday conversation, Majid. It was an entertaining one. This is Smashi Business Show, a Smashi Business production under the Augustus Media Podcast Network. Have a lovely, lovely weekend. Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Take care.